know what was happening. I live here. So do I not need to know what's going on in front of my house?
Could you have come over and asked one of us? And
I live here.
I live in Jacksonville. I just came as a volunteer to help serve.
I have lived here for more than 30 years. So if you know what you're doing and you know what the orders are, I can't even walk within 6 feet, technically, walking up and down the highway.
So
what?
Right, and to your point, when you know what the orders are, the governor said that food is an emergency.
I have no problem with it.
And we were doing drive-through to protect people.
Who was going to say to me what was going on?
Melissa Chester, Melissa request their services. And so they'll bring in food to you based on the need, the area of need you're in, and you deliver the food. Farm shares have existed for a while. During the pandemic, they transitioned them from walk-ups to drive-throughs. So we were in a little city called Quincy, Florida to host one of those, to assist in one of those. We weren't hosting it, I apologize. We were assisting Mr. Larry and Janice Simmons, who are they're business owners up there. He has a nonprofit where he supports the youth, as well as his wife is running for a public office. She's running for clerk of courts there in Quincy, Florida.
First of all, what was your goal? We know it's coronavirus. People are in need right now. This particular community that you guys are trying to distribute, give us a little bit of background about this community and their needs.
Okay, so Quincy, Florida is probably 90% African-American. Their leadership is 100% African-American. Their mayor, their commissioners, their school board, all these people are African-Americans. Very high poverty rate, very, very high poverty rate. Have been in the news for HIV/AIDS rates, very disenfranchised area. A lot of immigrants as well. There are a lot of immigrants there as well that we learned while we were there, because I had a conversation with a Mexican American. So a lot of immigrants are there as well. So very farm country, so very, very low income area. We were there hoping to service up as many as 500 families with food. And so the farm share was going to be providing fresh food. So there were fruits and vegetables, milk, juice. We had chicken. They had, all sorts of food. Yeah, it was a phenomenal farm share. Some farm shares, some are okay and some are phenomenal. This was a phenomenal one where they were getting like things.
That sounds like you can make a meal at this one. That sounds like you can make a meal at this one.
Oh yes, there were chicken breasts. They were giving away chicken breasts, zucchini, cucumbers, bananas, strawberries, cereal, popcorn, milk, juice. Like that was just some of the food that we were bagging. We had the different stations where we would bag them, and then they would just drive through with their trunks open, windows up. We were masked, we were gloved, we were practicing.
So you were implementing COVID-19, standards and 6 feet apart and all of that.
All of that good stuff, doing that. The farm share truck got there about 8:45 a.m. We started, 7:45 a.m. We started unloading.
That was 26,000 pounds, correct?
16,000. 16,000.
Okay.
16,000 pounds of food. 7:45. So they unload the pallets. The volunteers get busy bagging up the food. So about an hour in, the police arrived. Very friendly. Hey guys, we're here to help. Let us know what we can do. One is stationed, just kind of anticipating the traffic. We already have about 20 cars lined up who have been there since 6 a.m. waiting for us to open the farm share, which wasn't scheduled to start until 11 a.m. So we're still picking up. We're 3/4 the way finished. So it's about 10:20. We're starting at 11 a.m. And the same police who had come over and helped us, picked up some boxes, told us they'll be there for us. They'll be driving around. They'll help with the traffic. Came back over and said, hey, shut this down. Time to shut, we're closing this down. We were like, huh, what? Yeah, this is closing. You can't do this. And they pretty much proceeded to tell us that we had to stop immediately. The farm share representatives.
Did they give an explanation?
No,
They give an explanation. No
they didn't.
explanation.
No, and so the farm share representative walked up and said, hey, she showed them the letter, the emergency management system letter, saying, hey, we have a letter from the governor, you know, food is a necessity. These are being allowed across the country. In 2 neighboring counties, they were happening right then. They had actually had one earlier this week. So that's why we were so confused. So and they were like, well, we don't care. The chief said this is over. So I think somebody said, well, they said the chief said it had to close. So at this point, I pick up my phone because I'm like, this is ridiculous. I'm about to let the people know what's going on. So, because I was like, so you guys let us work for 2.5 hours, and 40 minutes before we're to start, you tell us we can't do this. Okay, I'm going to the people. I'm going to let people know what's going on.
Hello, Facebook Live. I am in Quincy, Florida, Gaston County. We have been out here since 8 o'clock this morning with a farm share. We're out here in Quincy, Florida at a farm share. They let us work from 8 a.m. They let us pack up all this food, let people get in line to get served, only to shut the farm share down. We have been out here working hours, bagging up food, and now they're saying that we cannot serve the food when farm shares are happening all across the country. Let me show you what we have been doing out here, and let me show you the police making us leave here in Gaston County. Where are you, Senator Lawson? This is your hometown. Where are you? Where are you when they're not letting us feed people who need feed?
And I turned on my live and started
Right.
talking about, hey guys, here we are in Quincy, Florida, and just running back what happened. And I implored, I said, hey, leadership, somebody give us a call. Lawson, state rep, mayor, somebody in the area, you know, give us a call so that they can stop what they're doing. You know, pause us, don't stop us, pause us and let us know something. Come assess it. Nobody from leadership came out. Nobody ever explained anything. Now volunteers who were ready to start servicing people and putting food in trunks, we had to start scrambling and throwing the food in our cars and trucks because the farm share truck leaves once it drops the food off. It doesn't come back until the end to pick up the empty pallets, right? They come out to get the empty pallets and the recyclables. So they were gone. So here we are trying to get the food and get it in all of our automobiles. And, you know, at this point, it's chaos. People who were lined up decided they're going to get out of their cars and run up and come get some food because it's closing. And so on the video, when you're seeing children without masks and you're seeing like the Mexican Americans and you're seeing people running up, that's because they were trying to hurry up and get some food, which they were being denied.
Taco Bell, KFC, they open. McDonald's open. McDonald's open, Burger King open, Krispy Kreme open. Y'all let us feed our people that. Walmart, we can feed our people that. The liquor store open. We can feed them some McDonald's and some Burger King. We can't give them no zucchini. We can't give them no squash. We can't give them no strawberries. We can't give them no fresh chicken. We can't give them that stuff. This is food. How can food not be allowed to be shared with people?
But McDonald's is open, Burger King is open, KFC is open, drive-through.
Yeah, and this is what this was, drive-through. But it was free. And it was on the backs of all these volunteers. It was on the goodness of Farm Share, who does this all across the country. And the governor of the state of Florida said it was allowed to be here. But somebody in Quincy, Florida said they bigger than the governor. And they said it's not happening. And they called and shut it down.
What do you say we got to go?
Important to get the word out. I have spoken. In Ernest, thank you for welcoming me. I have spoken to Dr. Chester today. She did send me some information that I did read from the police chief. We will post that. And this is simply a platform for her to get her story out. And I am supporting the community. And these are the type of things that may or may not affect those who are out there. I just want to make certain that when you work in an essential capacity in giving out food or any essential items, that you are following all of the state guidelines, all of the national guidelines, all of your local and all of your county guidelines, and make certain that you are keeping abreast of those guidelines, which are very fluid and are changing. Now, that being said, Dr. Chester, I read the police report, and it seems to me that the police seems to think that all of those guidelines were not followed, or that they did not have everything in place as where
Well, let me say something real quickly. She just said something that the police was there and they were observing and they were in compliance. The only time they became out of compliance is when they were leaving and people who were so desperate for food and saw food and leaving them, they jumped out their cars to go get it,
Oh, yeah.
thus exposing those citizens there
Yeah,
to be fed. Now they're exposed.
people are going to become very desperate here in the next few weeks. That's why, Ernest, you and I are working in that capacity of giving out food and setting up many faith communities so that they can distribute to their congregation. But the question was for Dr. Chester, and as it relates to the chief of police response that I read, he was stating in his formal response, and I won't read from that, we'll just post it, but essentially paraphrase that the city council had not approved this event.
And to your point, I also sent you the documentation from the farm share, who posted on their page and shared that the city police and the city was well aware of the event, because this was not the first farm share. This was actually the third one that week. And so these are ongoing efforts. These aren't, it's just different organizations that host these efforts. But these efforts, this wasn't something brand new. It wasn't something out of the, oh, wow, what is this going on? So Farm Share, a federal program, also responded to that in their letter and said that the Quincy Police and the Gaston Sheriff Department did in fact know about the event. So that was a cover up. That was a trying to, I guess, have some type of story, cover story, because what we were told was that neighbors that stayed across the street complained. So there are 5 houses across from this commercial building that the nonprofit owns. They run free lunch program out of there. They had just had a free lunch program there on Thursday.
So I understand Congressman Chester or somebody, is he a congressman or is he running for Congress? Chester?
My husband, Dr. Chester, is running for Congress.
Okay, so is he available for any type of comment on this? Since you brought up the federal level, does he have a statement that he would like to add to this? Because I know he's running for Congress, and this was something that he was privy to as well. What is his formal statement, or is he available to make that statement?
He's actually out delivering food here in Jacksonville because we don't stop. This is what we do. So
So this is not, so doctor, you're saying that this is not a campaign ploy. This was nothing. You were trying to feed people something that you guys do all the time, and it has nothing to do with politics.
Exactly. This is something that we've been doing unbeknownst to most. We've been feeding people, financial donations. So the organization we were helping, my husband has been working with him in the past. He's donated money. Again, they focus on youth and youth, prevention, etc. They had just had a lunch program that Thursday prior to the event we were hosting. We were helping them host on Saturday. And so this is why the outrage was, one, if we're out of compliance, your police were there for 2.5 hours with us out of compliance. You stop us 2.5 hours into the process when the event is to start in 40 minutes. Red flag number 1.
Right. Hey, for one moment, let's take a look at the video. And you're not going to be able to see it, Dr. Chester, but we're going to show the video for a moment, and we'll be right back after this break.
Hello, Facebook Live. I am in Quincy, Florida, Gaston County. We have been out here since 8 o'clock this morning with a farm share. We're out here in Quincy, Florida at a farm share. They let us work from 8 a.m. They let us pack up all this food, let people get in line to get served, only to shut the farm share down. We have been out here working hours, bagging up food, and now they're saying that we cannot serve the food when farm shares are happening all across the country. Let me show you what we have been doing out here, and let me show you the police making us leave here in Gaston County. Where are you, Senator Lawson? This is your hometown. Where are you? Where are you when they're not letting us feed people who need feed?
Know what was happening. I live here. So do I not need to know what's going on in front of my house?
Could you have come over and asked one of us? And
I live here.
I live in Jacksonville. I just came as a volunteer to help serve.
I have lived here for more than 30 years. So if you know what you're doing and you know what the orders are, I can't even walk within 6 feet, technically, walking up and down the highway.
So
what?
right, and to your point, when you know what the orders are, the governor said that food is an emergency,
I have no problem with it.
and we were doing drive-through to protect people.
Who was gonna say to me what was going on?
If we would have known that we needed to say something to you, we would have. I promise. Because again, I'm from Jacksonville, Florida. If I would have come this morning, knocked on your door personally, ma'am. If I would have known. If I would have known.
I have been in that house for 30 years.
Most of us aren't from the area. We were coming to volunteer. So because no one came to say a word is why she called. She called the police.
Talk to your folks about it.
And again, guys, so one complaint makes you stop a farm share. They couldn't have gone to her house and say, ma'am, well, this is something that's been ordered by the governor to help those in need. I mean, all she had to do was stay in her house. The traffic was being controlled by the police. They were actually out here initially to help. So here we are, guys. Here's the truck here, taking away empty pallets. Yeah, but we didn't serve anybody, unfortunately, so. And everybody's gone, and all the food is gone. And the food did not get served. She had to do was stay in her home. She could double that number, and it just, almost triple that number, and it just was not going to happen. Thanks to our leadership. Guys, God bless. Try to enjoy the rest of your Saturday.
We just saw the video, and on the video, it was very clear that you guys seem to have everything set out, like it should be. I mean, everyone, it was professional, it was organized. I didn't see what the problem could have been, and I do believe, this is my personal opinion, I don't think this would have happened in a white neighborhood. I'm sorry, I played the race card. I don't think this would have happened in a white neighborhood. Anybody care to expand on that?
I'll say this. Unfortunately, this area that we're in, Quincy, the city itself, it's primarily African American. The leadership is African American.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's the surprising part about it. And so, so it was other African Americans denying African Americans and immigrants. So they have a high immigrant. In the video, if you turn it to about 39 minutes in, you'll hear me interviewing a Mexican American, and he was, in tears, and he was saying, my people need this. He said they don't get food stamps, the immigrants. And so his pickup truck, he came and he loaded it up. And you'll see little Mexican children coming in and grabbing food and grabbing milk and running off the screen. And so the comments were, they don't have on masks. No, because they all got out of their cars to come get food that we were now denying them, that we had told them we were going to be giving them, and that we're now at the flip of a switch saying, oh no, you can't have this food. And so it got kind of hectic because people wanted food. And the leadership there was angry at me for going live. And so I'm receiving I guess kickback from that. They've posted some inflammatory statements about me. Oh, it was political. Well, it would not have been quote unquote political had the event occurred. Had the event occurred, we would have served, we would have left and gone home, right? You brought attention to it when you denied the people food.
So ultimately, wow, 16,000 pounds of food. What did you do with all that food? I mean, did you have refrigeration for it? Ultimately, what you end up having to do with the food?
So different volunteers put the food in their cars and pickup trucks. We only were allowed to get a small amount. My husband and I, literally, I was getting dozens of texts in my inbox, like, can you bring some of that food to us? And they were giving me their addresses. We took it to two of the projects up there, Gaston Arms, and the young lady called it the New Projects. I can't remember the official name of it, but she said, can you bring some food over to the New Projects? And she gave us the address. And so my husband and I, we took our food to Quincy, Florida. To the project. The other volunteers, honestly, I can't speak to where their food went, but a lot of them were like, we know people in need, and we're going to take it to those people that we know. My problem with that was, what about the people we don't know? What about the people that were lined up, that were there for 3 hours that got nothing? And that was my frustration. And so you guys probably heard my passion, my anger in the video. It was very organic. I took to the live because I wanted people to see. I never had any expectation of it getting that type of traction. I was amazed at the traction that it got in the amount of time.
You're talking to a gentleman who once was in a situation where he filmed something and was very passionate about it, and it was posted and got 2 million views in like three days. So I know how when people are outraged, they become outraged. And I think this is one of those situations. What would you like to see happen now?
So the organizers that we were participating with, they actually were meeting with the city officials today to talk about rescheduling it. So my husband is supposed to call him this evening once he gets in from delivering food and find out what that new date is, which is great. I'm really happy and thankful that they are rescheduling it. I'm thinking, and I'll keep you posted on this. I'm thinking they don't want us participating in it. I'm thinking that was why it got canceled, was they didn't want us there. The incumbent who my husband is running against, I mean, that's his hometown, that's his area. He had just done a farm share the previous weekend. And so that, again, we were just really confused as to why. So now we can't do the farm share, why? And again, the cover story, which I was alluding to, they told us that, oh, the neighbors were complaining. I spoke to several neighbors. There was one lady that said, oh yeah, I called them. You don't stop a farm share for one neighbor. She claimed she was afraid because of COVID. Stay in your house. Stay in your house. Why you out here if you're afraid?
Let me ask you this. Weren't the neighbors invited to come and get some food if they needed to?
Of course. Everybody, it's open to all. There's no income tax, it's open to all. So yes, they were welcome to come as well. She said she was afraid about COVID, and what was her other thing was nobody let her know. And she's on the video towards the end. If you go to the end, she's saying they should have let me know. Nobody came and told me. And I said, man,
so we got one.
Oh yeah.
So we got one of them, a homeowners association that owns the block, and you got to check with me before you come over here. Wow, been there, done that.
She said, yeah, she said if they should have let me know something. I've been here almost 30 years. I said, ma'am, if I would have known that we needed to let you know, I said, I'm from Jacksonville, Florida. I would have personally come over and knocked on your door and let you know that we were having a farm share. She said, well, nobody did. And that's right. I want you gone. And I really believe she was the fall guy and she fell for it because she could not have done that just on her own. She doesn't have that kind of power to shut down an entire farm share.
No, she might have a little bit more power than you believe if she has a direct line to maybe the person that you're running against or somebody that knows somebody. Look, we're in Dallas. I've been a part of dirty politics for quite some time now. So I get it, trust me.
Someone else said that same thing, that she was probably related to someone. And I was like, wow, okay.
Yeah, trust me. Well, what we're going to do, as we do at ACDC today, you have the power. This is the platform. We're going to reach out to the, now what's the congressman, the person that's the incumbent there right now?
Well, I would tell you, if you're reaching out to somebody, I would tell you to reach out to the mayor. The mayor is Keith Dowdell, because he had nothing to do with it. Like it's the mayor, Keith Dowdell is the mayor of Quincy, Florida. And there's a young man, Ronte Harris, I believe is his name. He's what they call a mayor pro tem. They call it a mayor pro tem there in Quincy, Florida, which means he's like the chair of the commissioners. And so those were the two who took to social media to whoop me and say that this was political. But they were the two who came on the scene after it was over, laughing and giggling after everything's over, talking about, yeah, y'all didn't let nobody know. And the organizer was like, you guys knew. What are you talking about? You didn't know. And so, yeah, wow. Next thing you got to let us know. And so really they're trying to pretend like it's because they didn't know it's why they canceled it.
Okay. Well, I'm really sorry that happened to you. And, I hope and pray that you guys are blessed and that someone did get that food. God has a plan for everything. And I think that next time you're going to come back in that neighborhood and you're going to do even more wonders and, let go and let God. He's going to work that out. But again, we're going to reach out to those people that, you've mentioned, and we're going to try to get to the bottom of this. And you just keep doing what you're doing, Doc. I'm sorry I said Doc. I'm just.
Well, that's what everybody calls me. It's funny. That's my nickname. That's what everybody calls me. So that's fine.
And, I just want you to know that keep on keeping on. My wife and I are organizers of a nonprofit as well. And, you think when you get into this, for instance, I didn't have to get hood until I joined the church. See, the streets were kind to me because I knew what to expect. But when you start dealing in those realms of nonprofits and faith-based, boy, they can be cutthroat.
Yes.
Yeah. So just keep on doing what you're doing, and I appreciate you so much. And keep us informed any updates that you might have. Okay, Doctor?
Yes, I will. Thank you guys so much for having me.
God bless you. Bye. You have a good day.
God bless. Good night.